Okay, good afternoon all. Today we will start the class about the procedure for testing. So in the previous class, we have discussed about the domain testing. So in that we have discussed about the how the domains are tested. So what are the bugs that will be arises when you are doing domain testing? Okay. So we have seen these concepts in the previous class. In the today's class, we will discuss what are the steps to be followed where you are performing a domain testing. So these are the steps that will follow that has to be followed when you're performing a testing on a domain. Okay. So what are the procedures for testing? First, the step you have to follow is, first of all, you have to identify the input variables, on which variables your testings are applied, on which domains your testings are applied. The first point, you have to identify the input variables. After identifying the input variables, so you have to decide which predicates are applied to which variables. Okay, predicates are nothing but some conditions, the range. So which conditions has to be applied to on the which input variables. That is the second point. So first point is identify input variables. Next one is identify variables which appears in domains, and I define predicates. So which domains contains which predicates, that has to be identified in the second step. So such a controls for predicates, which predicates has to be used for the input variables. And the third one is these predicates has to be used to domains. Okay, so that interpretation process, for example, you are taking the condition called x greater than 2. So x is the domain. So this x contains some input values. So that interpretation, the condition checking will be done in the third step. First, identify input variables. Next, identify variables which appears in domains. Identify predicates for that input variables. Next, interpretation for interpretation to the domain predicates. Okay, interpret all domain predicates in terms of input variables. So which variable has to be follow which predicate. So this is the third step. Next, when the predicate is a binary predicate, for example, you are taking the binary predicate, means the values of that predicates will be only two combinations, like true or false. When you are taking binary predicate, so for example, you are taking the predicate called x greater than or x less than 2, that x value can, that domain value can contain from some range 1 to 5, or some range you can take for x input variable. But this x in variable contains a boolean predicate. So boolean predicate means, so it contains only two variables, that two values. That means it takes only two combinations like true and false values. Okay, so for p binary predicates, there are at most two p combinations only it will be acquired for that particular predicates, that are true or false values. And at most two domains only, predicate domains only it will acquire. Okay, next, the fifth condition is this: if you are applying an expression, boolean expression to this predicate condition, that expression will be represented in this format, or an n format. So that has to be represented with a b c plus d e f plus g f, so on, with capital letters. That predicates has to be represented. And the last one is, this has to be done using the linear programming methods. Okay, you have seen about the linear representation. So what a linear representation, the nice domains are considered as a linear representation. So x plus 10 x plus y equal to 10, this is the linear representation. Okay, so based upon this linear programming methods, you have to follow these particular testing methods. So that is, these are the different steps has to be followed while you're performing on the domain, while you're performing test on the domains. Okay, procedure, these are the steps. First, you have to identify the input variables. Next, you have to identify the predicates to that input variables. What predicates has to be allowed, has to be applied to that input variables. And next, interpretation process. Next, if it is a binary, it will take only two combinations, that is true and false. Then the representation should be like this. And the last has to be, it is done in the format of linear programming method. Okay, these are the steps has to be followed by the testing. Finally, it will the inputs you are taken to a domain. Okay, so finally the domain testing is nothing but it will take inputs, and it applies predicates to that inputs, and finally it produces output. After testing is completed, it produces outputs. Okay, this is the testing process, has to be followed. Okay, so the next one is, the next concept is domains and interface testing. Okay, so here we have seen domain testing. Now we will see about domains and interface testing. So here we will do, we will test on the interfaces between domains. Okay, nothing but the connections between domains. How two domains or interfaces to one another. That interface testing will be produced on a domain interface testing. In the previous, we have tested on a single domain. Now we will test on a domain interface testing. That is nothing but combination of two components or combination of two domains. Okay, so that testing will be done by a testing method called integration testing. I think you have seen different testing methods called unit testing, integration testing. Here we will follow the integrating testing. So integrating testing is a testing method to test the correctness of interface between the two components. So how these two components, two domains or interface to one another. Okay, that will be tested by using a domain and interfaces testing. Okay, that is done by using integration testing. So here we will compulsory for domain interface testing, we will take two components, component A and component B, will be satisfied if it will check that whether these two components are satisfying the testing or not by using the integration. Okay, that is done, that will check whether the consistency across the interface. So it is performing correct consistent inconsistent value or consistent value, it will check by using this domain and interface testing. So understand that domain interface testing is done between the two domains or two components, how they are interfacing each other. How they are interfacing are done by using the calls. Okay, so two components or interfaces by using a method called subroutine calls. Generally, one domain will interface with another domain by using the calling functions. This domain calls the domain, another domain calls this domain. So component A calls the component B, and component B calling the component A. This calling process is called the interfaces process between the two domains or two components. See, interface between any two components is considered by a subroutine call. Generally, interface done between the two components are done between the subroutine calls. Okay, when you're performing a subroutine calls between the two components, you have to follow some conditions to follow that the span is correct or not, the range is correct between the call A to call B, caller and call. Subroutine call is nothing but we will have two components, one is considered as a caller and another one is considered as a called. Okay, when you are doing a when your caller is calling to a call, or a caller or a called receiving a call from the caller, in between they have to follow some compatibility. The compatibility that has to be done is range has to be checked before the interface has to be done. So that is called by domain span. So for a single variable, the domain span is a set of numbers between the smallest value and the largest values. When performing a caller to call, the domain range must be, you need to check compulsorily. Okay, so while performing an input, while you are applying input variables, we have to check about the compatibility. So how the compatibility between the domain span and the compatibility between the closure is done correctly or not. So these two has to be, domain span and compatibility closure has to be verified, has to be compatible when you are performing an interface between two domains. Okay, so domain and interface testing is nothing but you're performing a subroutine call between the subroutine call is nothing but an interface between the two domains or two components. This called the interface. That is, on that interface you are performing a testing is called the domain and interface testing. For that you have to check the span compatibility, domain span compatibility and compatibility of closure. Now we will see what is a domain span and compatibility closure, how it will be represented and how it has to be followed, or if in which cases it will be represented, it will be said as compatible. it will said as not compatible. In which cases it is represented, it is said to be a not compatible. That will be seen the next. Okay, that is about domain and interface testing. This is a brief description of the domain and interface testing. So before going to the domain span and compatibility closure, you in these two compatibility, when you are checking these two compatibilities, the main points you have to learn is what is a domain and what is the range. The range will plays a very important role when you are performing this interface between two domains. Okay, so everyone know what is a domain. Domain is nothing but a set of values or a collection of values. Okay, so range is nothing but the input value and the maximum value and the minimum value is called the range. Based upon this range only, the compatibility you will be decide. Okay, the set of output produced by a function is called the range. How the output value will be produced by the input value which you are taken is the range. Okay, input which the function is defined is called the domain. Obviously, the input values will be the domain. The range will be the output values. According to the input values, what will be the output values? Okay. This testing will perform aims to specify that input when predicates conforms the output values, the results from those inputs. By using this testing, domain interface testing, it will check that the whatever input values you are specifying and whatever the predicate you are applying to that particular input values conforms that the output values are correctly coming or not. That is the main agenda of the interface testing. Okay, so what are the interface testing consist of? The interface testing consists of three types, consist of the following mappings. These mappings can be done between the two components. So we will have caller and we will have called. So caller domain can call the caller range, caller domain to caller range, caller range to called domain. So next called domain to call range. Finally, we will get the range and we will starting from the domain to range is the mapping process. First caller domain, the input values to the caller range is done by the unit testing. So next these according to this caller range called domain, it will send to the information to the called domain. That is done by integration process. Testing is done by integration test. Okay. Next, after the range is transferred to the called domain, then called domain finally gives the outputs. Called range will be displayed. Okay. That is called the call, that is done by the unit test. This is the mapping that will be followed when you're performing a test. Okay, interface test, when you're performing an interface test, it has to be followed like this. Caller domain to caller range, next caller range to called domain, next again called domain to called range. This is the mapping process has to be followed when you are performing a testing. So next point is you have to check closure compatibility. Next one is span domain span. Okay, what is meant by closure compatibility? Generally, closure compatibility is nothing but it will find the closure, the range, whatever the range you are given to a particular value domain, it will check that domain range is compatible or not. Okay, for example, you are taking the domain range is from 0 to 17. Assume that a caller range, we will have the caller in the interface testing, we will have the caller as well as we will have the call because it is interfacing between the two components. So while you're performing a closure compatibility, the caller range and the called domain span, the same numbers. Okay, the range has to be closed. For example, we are taking the values range from 0 to 70. See, this is the diagram of range domain closure compatibility. So the caller will have the range of 0 to 7. The called as well as the called will also have 0 to 7. That is the first, that is the way to represent the closure compatible. That is, it means in closure. Okay. So the below figure shows the 4 ways in which caller range closure and the called domain closure can agree. So these are the 4 ways that you can represent the closure of a particular range. If you are representing this particular representation, any of this particular representation, then it is a compatible, closure compatible. Okay. For example, you are taking the range 0 to 17, but you are mentioning that 0 to 16 or 0 to 15, it is not a closure compatible. It's a wrong compatible. Okay. So here these four, what are the difference between these four representation fields? The differentiation between these four representation are done by thick lines and closed lines. So see this diagram. So in one place we will have the thick lines closed, and another way we have the light. Okay, this is the representation of differentiation between the four types. Okay, the thick line means closed and the thin line means open. Okay, if the thick line means closed, means the boundary is closed. Okay, the thin line means it is open. Okay, so these are the four ways that can represent the closure compactability. So first one is closed both on top and bottom. See, both top and bottom for collar as well as collar are closed with the thick line. Whereas coming to the second way, open top and closed bottom. Two closed bottoms are in thick lines, whereas two open tops are open lines. This is the another way of representing the closure compactability. And the third one is closed top and open bottom. So, closed top. The top one is closed, and whereas the bottom one is open. Then that means thin lines. Both opens, both are thin lines. Okay, both top and bottom are thin lines. When you are representing this particular representation, then these are closure compactability. The range has to be defined what for according to the input values you have taken. Okay, so for initially what the range you have mentioned, that has to be used in the closure compactability also. So this is represented in these four ways. These are called the range or domain closure compactability. You can represent it in any one of the four representation. Okay, this is about checking of closure compactability. Next one is you need to check about span compactability. That is called domain span compactability. Span is nothing but here collar, and you are transferring information. We are taking input values for the collar and we will sending to the called domain. So when you are transferring information or when you are sending the range from one collar to the one domain to the another domain, that range has to be compulsorily matched. Okay, when you are taking 0 to 17 as the range for here, so the call domain also need to contain 0 to 17. So that is the compactability. Okay, if it is not have the same range, that it is considered as incompatibilities. So in span compactability, we have different types of incompatibilities. If these incompatibilities are identified, then they are not in a good span that they are not in a span compactability. So now we have to see what are the different ways of incompatibilities can be represented for this span. So what are the span incompatibilities? Okay, these are the following figures that represents the three possible span incompatibilities. Okay, this one first, second one. So in this case, the collar range is subset of called domain. In the first figure, see here, in the first figure, is it clear everyone? Figures? In the first figure, see here, in the first figure, the span is in the collar. See, this is the collar, this is the closed. Okay, this is the first one is the collar, second one is the called. Okay, so the collar is a subset of called. This is an incompatibility. See, the range of the collar is 7 to 3 and the called is 9 to 1 to 9. So the collar is the subset of called. Okay, this is an incompatibility representation. Here, see here also, this is another representation. Again here, the collar range is 1 to 9, but the range of called range is 1 to 9. The collar range is 3 to 9. Okay, this is a subset. Again, it got 1 to 9 and collar is 1 to 7. This is the subset of called. Okay, the collar range is subset of called domain. This is the one way of span incompatibility. Here, the span incompatibility collar span is smaller than called. That is considered as incompatibility. Okay. The next one is the figure shows the opposite situations in which the call domain is smaller than collar domain. Here, the call domain is the reverse process, what you have seen in the previous one, the reverse process. Here, call domain is subset of collar domain. So 1, 9 is the range of the collar, 3, 7 is the range of the call. Then called is a subset of caller. So like this only, these three examples represents. So this is again another incompatibility. So the third one is the range and the domain do not line up. So in the first one we have seen caller is subset of called, that is one incompatibility. Next one is called is subset of another, that is another incompatibility. One and each other is subset of one another. But in the third one, there is another incompatibility is not no one and no caller is subset of called, no, called is subset of caller. Both or have different ranges. Okay. This is not related to that. That is not related to this. Okay. So that is the third domain range incompatibility. The domain range mismatches. Okay. The range domain does not line up. We have crashes. Subroutine is not good enough. See here, the range of caller is 1 to 7, whereas the call is 3 to 9. So these are both are different ranges, not subset of. They have both different ranges because this range is different from this range. Caller range is different from called range. So this is called as mismatch of the domain. And the next one is the fourth one have holes in the domains. So these holes is nothing but these first three are does not have any breakups in the range. But in the fourth one figure, fourth incompatibility have the holes. Holes is nothing but I have already explained that holes is nothing but gaps between the range. So that is called holes. So see here, caller have the range of 1 to 9, whereas called have the range of 1 to 3, and you have gap of 4 and again 5 to 9. This is called the gap holes. Okay. This representation is called, this representation is called the incompatibility representation. This is probably said as bug. This is a bug representation. So these are the different incompatibility of span. Okay. So if it produces this type of incompatibilities, then it is said as the domain span is not compatible. Okay. When you're performing a test on a particular domain interface, these types of incompatibilities will be produced. The output range will be not correctly defined. Okay. So these has to be compatible. So these are the different types of span incompatibility and closure span compatibility and closure compatible. These two has to be compatible to each other. Okay. So while these are compatible, then domain interface testing will be perfectly done. The input value which you are taken to the domain will be perfectly given the output range of that particular domain using some predicates. Okay. This is about the domain interface testing. Okay. So the next concept is domain and testability. So domain and testability. Here we will check the testability of the domain. So previous we have checked about the domain testing. Next we have seen about the domain interface testing. Here we will see about the domains and testability. So testability is nothing but we will transform the non-linear to linear, and we transform the ugly domain to the newly domain. So in this domain and testability, we will transform two types of domains. One is linear transformations and coordination transformations. Linear transformations is nothing but transforming a non-linear boundaries to the linear boundaries. Okay. Generally, what is a linear means which follow a predicate called x greater than equal to 10 or x less than 10. Based upon this predicate, that representation will be done. The domain range will be executed. Okay. So if it is not following that particular range, that particular linear, then they are called as a non-linear. This can be done. This ugly can be done to the nice. Okay. So that transformation is called the linearizing transformation. See, what is a linearizing transformation? We can often convert non-linear boundaries to equivalent linear boundaries. So this is applying linearization. This is called as linearization transformation. So generally, so how you can convert the non-linear transform to linearization transformation means a linearization transform will contain the in an equation model. It will be in an equation model. For example, we are taking the nominal terms x square, x cube as nominal terms for non-linear. These can be replaced by a new variable called y equal to x, y equal to x square, y cube is equal to x cube by in a equation format by using the equalities or any operations less than or greater than or operations. by using that type of operation, then you can consider it as a linear boundary. Okay, so by converting the non-linear into in a equation format, linearization, that transformation is called the linearization transformation. Okay, so the second one is coordinate transformation. Coordinate transformations is nothing but, so transforming into a coordinate form, that is nothing but orthogonal form, perpendicular form. So coordinate means we will have x coordinate and y coordinate. Based upon that coordinates, we will transform into the coordinate form. Okay, here number of boundaries can be put up to the test. Okay, so we will take different equalities, perform on each on each input value to a particular equation, and we will consider the boundaries about that, and we'll specify the they are specified by the equalities. So based upon that equalities, it will check the boundaries and will represent the boundaries and will represent the coordination transformation. Generally, inequalities has to be converted into equalities. Okay, convert the inequalities to equalities where we interested in the boundaries and they are specified by equalities. It will be repeated. This has to be repeated for all input values for a variables. Okay, this repetition process will be done for all variables. See, start with the equation that presents most boundaries. This picks the equation present the next most boundary. So it will be repeatedly, it will be executed for every input values to the next boundary. This will be repeated. Okay, so adding the equation until the boundaries are used up. All boundaries or checking is completed, then it will be transformed to a particular coordinate transformation. Okay, first one is transforming to non-linear to linear. Next one is transforming to coordinate transformation. This is about the domain testability. Okay, so the next one is the program representation, a canonical program form. So previously we have seen the procedure form of a testing, how the test has to be done, what are the steps has to be followed for that particular testing. That procedure you have seen. Now we will see the program form representation. Okay, so what are the steps has to be followed when you are doing transformations. Okay, here starts with the linearization equation and orthogonalization in order to specify the testing. So here we will transform into linearization or orthogonalization. So following is the structure has to be followed while you're performing a program. First, every step starts with the input data. What data you are taking is the very important point to a particular domain. So input the data, applying the transformation to predict as possible. Whatever the predict you are taking to a particular input value comes under the consideration. Based upon that predicates only need to apply the apply to a input value. The transformation has to be done based upon the predicates. Okay, apply linearizing transforms to as many predicates as possible. It has to be checked for as many predicates as to possible. First, you have to take the input data. You have to apply the predicate possibles. Now transform to an orthogonal coordinate system. Then according to that values, we have to transform to the orthogonal coordinate system. Next, the case has been efficient search procedure to put the right variables in the bin. So some variables will be right, some variables will be wrong. So based in that predications, we will take the correct values and we will represent into the particular orthogonal representation. Okay, remaining inequalities. We have some value of performing a testing. We will have equality as well as we have inequality predictions. Okay, remaining inequalities that cannot be brought into orthogonal space. That inequalities are not represented into the orthogonal representation. So this is the canonical representation, or the program form has to be followed while you are performing a linearizing of equations and orthogonalization in order to specify testing. So these are the topics that we have seen today's, or we have seen about the procedure testing form. We have seen about the domain and interfacing testing. And in that we have seen about the compatibility of the closure compatibility and domain span compatibility. Next, we have seen the transformations that are called the domain and testing. Finally, we have seen about the program form representation, the canonical program form representations. So these are the topics are comes under to part 1. So up to this topic, up to a canonical program form, we have completed the part 1 of third unit. So part 1 of third unit means the third unit consider the two parts. One is about the domain testing, and second one about the path reduction, path expression, regular expression. These all comes under the second part. Okay. So up to this topic, we have completed the about the domain testing part. So from tomorrow onwards, we will discuss about the second part called the paths, about path reduction, about path representation, path regular expression, how the path is represented. These all comes under the second part. Okay. So is there any doubt